Good afternoon. This is part 9 of my Satisfactory streaming. I did a part 9 yesterday, but it was a colossal failure, so I just decided to scrap the whole thing and try again. Um, Here's what's going on. I'm struggling to remember any important details I started the last one with. My big next goal is to get oil production going. Because I need oil to make plastic, and plastic to make circuit boards, and circuit boards to make computers. And so, when I scan for crude oil, I pick some up about 2,000 meters away. So I set out last time with something like 3,000 units of concrete, because as near as I could tell, the oil was across a big valley, and rather than try and drive this vehicle over a bunch of bumps and turns, my thought was to just basically build a bridge over the valley. So that's what I did, and I made a big long bridge. I found another wrecked ship, and collected the stuff inside the new hard drive, which gave me another alternate recipe, this time for heavy modular frames. And then I just kept building the bridge and building the bridge and building the bridge, and eventually I started taking damage, and I was so confused because I couldn't find the oil that I thought I needed. And it turns out that I had gone way, way past it, and built right off the edge of the map. So I doubled back. I already had a bridge past it, found the oil, and set up a single harvester. Incidentally, these cracked rocks, which I found earlier, apparently the deal with them is that once you've researched sulfur, you can build a explosive that can blow up those cracked rocks. But I've only found 22 of the necessary 25 sulfur, so I haven't done that yet. So I just built a bridge around it. So I set up a oil pump, and since this is so far away, I didn't run any power lines out here. I just set up some biofuel burners. Whoa. Slug out of nowhere. Didn't see you earlier. Might as well pick you up. I also found a purple slug and researched it, so the next time I find a purple slug, I can get 5 of those power boosters out of it. So I set up a single oil pump and turned it on. Another one. Jeez Louise. How did I miss all these guys? I was playing yesterday. You're yellow. You'll be useful. And just for storing space, I'll go ahead and convert both of those right now. And after I set up the oil pump, I ran this level 3 conveyor belt all the way back to the base on its own. But those biofuel generators would obviously need to be fueled up on a regular basis, which is a big pain. So, after I collected a couple thousand units of oil and it had run dry, I manually converted them all to plastic and made a bunch of computers and did the upgrade that um, lets you make a gas generator that can burn oil. And then I spent like another 2 hours building even more computers and reinforced modular frames and stuff so that I could set up a whole power production facility down here. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I found some more oil down here. There's actually two right next to each other. So I'm thinking these two I'll actually use for collecting oil later. And then there's one that's a little bit further down the beach, a little bit more spread out. I'm going to use this one for power generation. So, let's see if I did this right. First, we need an oil pump. Now, an oil pump on a standard normal node can do 120 per minute, and that can support a little bit more than 6 generators. So if I do the math right, boy, there's like 1 pixel that this lines up. Screw it. Okay, so that can produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Okay, so now I need to build 7. Oh, okay, I didn't do this right. Okay. This is what I do. This is what I get for doing the math last night and then not remembering it. First, I've got to do 2 refineries to convert the crude oil into fuel. So we'll have one over here. It's probably too close, huh? Too close. So each of these can take 60 per minute. So that should work out perfectly. And now, because I'm thinking I want to merge their production. Change my mind. Okay. I want to merge their production because, again, it's not like an even 3. It's a little bit more, so it doesn't make sense to keep it split. So let's put the 2 refineries right next to each other. Back you up a little. Now let's make sure we get some power poles going. Okay, so we want to merge the results of both. And it'll be 37.5 per minute. Double that to 75 per minute. And so a normal level 2 belt will work just fine for this. So now that it's merged, we want to split it again. And now here is where we split it into 7. Okay, so next we want to set up 7 fuel stations. And because I don't need to worry about dividing these evenly, because it should, if I do it right, just reroute them to the ones that aren't in use. Boy, these are big ones. I hope I have room to set up all 7. Too steep. Will you let me set it up in the water? Right, so, set up another power pole. get this started, I'm going to have to have some oil being produced. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do here is take the biofuel out of the truck. Oh, I've just got regular fuel in it. Huh. Well, that works just as well. And is there anything else I need while I'm up here? Concrete, no. Circuit boards, no. Wires, no. Modular frames, no. This should be good. So if I have done this right, I should be able to insert this fuel. Oh, I just had crude oil in that. That's not what I was expecting. Sorry, guys. I need it to be in processed form to work. So I goofed. Also don't remember that coral being quite that big before. Maybe I just always hopped on the conveyor belt on this side of it. These level 3 conveyor belts are dang fast. They're too fast to run against, by the way. Okay, so workshop. And I need to craft fuel from that crude oil. Now, I need to do the math here. I hope one of these is enough to power everything. Otherwise, I'm going to have to really play with it to get it going. So, insert the fuel. Barrels are rolling out the door. You making fuel, and I want you making fuel. Okay. So we should already be up to 300 power. Yeah. Which is great, because that'll run everything. And then while I'm at it, well, I'm going to wait to put up the rest of the power lines until I get all the rest of these fuel generators set up, because I'm a little worried about placement now. Oh, that's too close. Now, these fuel generators take quite a bit of resources, unfortunately. Okay. Where else can I place a fuel generator? Again, too steep. Okay. Okay, took down those biomass burners. That'll get some crude oil going back to my base. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 more. And then the crazy part of my plan, once this is all set up, is to try to get. Alright, I'm gonna have to build to the floor. Not the end of the world. Is to try to get all this power back to my main base, because I'm going to be producing around 900 and only using around 150. So that's a whole lot more to power my base with. Now, will you let me place on this? Sometimes very amusing how much more convoluted, how much better convoluted conveyor belts work than good ones. You, we're going to put at 25%. I think this will work. We're running at 925. It's holding steady at 180. I think we're good. So as long as I've got that level 3 belt, I might as well set up a second oil drill, just so I can have way more oil going back to my base. Double it. Two there. So yeah, we'll just set up one of these. These are both normal. Normal? Normal. Okay. Alright, so we want another oil pump. One more merger. Just need to get power out to there. I have access to level 4 belts now, but I haven't looked into what I need to build for those. So I also need to remember to take some fuel back from my vehicle. Okay, great. Should be 240 oil per minute going back to crude oil, going back to base. And power is running and taking some fuel. So these ones up here, are they gradually stocking up, or are they burning through them at the exact same rate that... They're gradually stocking up. Okay. So I'll need to come back here later and see if my fuel calculations are right or not. But until then, the thing to do is to start trying to get power back to my base. Honestly, do I want to take the truck back? Probably not. What other clearance are you encroaching on? I don't see it. Is it the ramp? You can't build power lines on ramps? Let's get all that stuff off. 0. Come on. Careful here, don't fall to my death. What angle can I get where I can see that? Good thing there's no line loss, huh? Okay. Should be in better shape now. I'm thinking two things. First, I'm not carrying that much stuff. I might as well just dismantle the tractor. It all fits in my inventory, because I'm going to be walking back either way. So these oil refineries take 50 power each. So the main reason I spent so much time getting power set up is because it's the only way that I'm going to be able to process plastic in any reasonable time frame. Just thinking out loud, what I want to do after this, I think... Whoops, I was paying attention, made the wire way too long. After this, I'll have all the essential raw ingredients: coal, oil, iron, copper. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough cable. I'll probably have to either run back for some more cable or construct the truck and make some more cable. Wire too long. Why did it go from 180 to 120 capacity? Did I disconnect something back there? I think I did. So yeah, the other thing that I discovered is that I found some crystal. And researching that gave me the ability to search for crystal nodes and make crystal oscillators, which are involved in some advanced tech. But it also gave me, at long last, this map. So you can see on the left there is my base in white, in green there's me, and if you go all the way out to where that easternmost white line is, that's how far I basically built from here to here until it started dying. So I really goofed. I'm just looking here. This one is going. I want to make sure that all these are operating at peak capacity. Maybe... That's at 100%. That's at 100%. So I'm wondering if, yeah, if it's producing more gas than... What percentage are you at? You say you're at 100% capacity. Let's see if you max out or not. Did I really goof up the gas math? Because it's saying that it only needs 20% capacity. One sec here. Let me just look at my math. So what I want to look at is the fuel generator. So according to this, a normal oil node, it's 120 oil pumped a minute, which goes to 2 oil refineries, which produces 6.25 fuel generators. I mean, that's what I set up. So I've got 75 gas per minute right now. What do these fuel generators say they're consuming? It says it takes 5 seconds to consume a fuel. So that means that you use 12 a minute. So 75 divided by 12 is 6.25. It should be right on the money. It's just that every once in a while it requires some extra work. I'm almost inclined to crank up this last generator just to see if it can sustain. So, oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I read the, so yeah, I'm gonna crank up that last generator because the way these fuel generators work, they only consume gas when they're being utilized. So because I'm only using about 1/3 of my available power, they're only consuming about 1/3 of their required gas. So this setup will be just about perfect when I get close to my maximum power cap. But right now, while it's not in use, it will take less power than I'm expecting it to. And that leads to a kind of weird knock-on effect where when I start needing more power, it starts consuming more power, which is a little crazy. It may actually kind of even out the bumps in the power frequency because it's going to crank on those generators a few seconds after the power hits the peak. I'm going to need to think about that. But for now, it's working as desired. And because I cranked up that 7th generator, I'm getting over 1,000 megawatts from this. And I'm only using, at the moment, 80. So, keep building power lines back to base. It's an extra 1,000 megawatts. Sure as hell make my job easier. Once I've got this all set up, I'm actually a little tempted to run a second high-speed conveyor belt all the way back, just so that I don't even need the truck anymore. I can just ride conveyors back and forth. But since I put the conveyors right on the edge of the platform, it does increase the chance of me falling to my death. So I don't know. Still thinking about that one. One of the things Crystal unlocked, besides the map, is a better vehicle. So I have 3 now. I have the tractor, which is what I've been driving around, just because its resource requirements are so tiny that it's convenient to dismantle and take with you. There's the truck, which has some heftier requirements, but has double storage space. And the crystals unlock a third one that is sorry, I'm just thinking I'm gonna widen this bridge while I'm here just because the chances of me driving off this are a little high, to be frank. Okay, I used up a bunch of my concrete there, but I think I'm going to run out of wire before I run out of concrete, so it's not the end of the world. You don't like going through the rock, huh? All I gotta do is make it back to my coal lines because there's already power lines set up from there. And the whole time I've been futzing with this, oil's been going back to base, so that's nice. Oh, almost jumped off the cliff. And it appears that it's producing oil so fast that I've already filled up the huge oil storage tank that I set up in the base already. So, that's a thing. I'm going to have to start cranking out a bunch more refineries in order to get these all processed into the plastic I need for computers. There. Power grid joined. And I've got a ton of spare capacity, so that's awesome. Now, while I've got a whole thing full of stuff, I believe I saw on my map that on the other side of this plateau there was some more sulfur. So if I can get that set up, I can research it when I get back to base. And between that and the oil, jumpstart a bunch of research. It's supposed to be back here. Oh hey, it's another one of those weird alien spheres. Sulfur, are you back here? This is where I found the first bit of sulfur, just like a half node. So I'm hoping I just look around back here. I'm also trying to resupply on pale berries and other healing items because the research into the fungus got me a full heal item, but it requires bits of the 4 healing items I've found so far. I heard a noise. Is there another slug around here? Possibly up there? Up there. Need more concrete. Only green, but that's okay. Well, look at my map one more time. My out-of-game map, not my in-game map. But for the record, that's where I am. And I'm looking for sulfur. One moment while I study. It's loading the map. Okay, so the sulfur is about here-ish. Yeah, I can't mark the map, in-game map in any way. So might need these. Other side of this. Honestly. There you are. I don't have any room to pick up sulfur. That's enough. I wonder if I have enough. I don't think I have enough. You know, I can't build a miner at the moment. So, for now, I'm just going to set down a beacon. So that I can find that sulfur node again later. Okay, I got what I wanted. And now, back to base. Do I go this way? Yep, okay. So once I have supplies, I can set up another conveyor belt for sulfur. Probably a much lower end conveyor belt because I don't think I'll need that much in the long run. Just for like gunpowder or something. So I think that's going to basically wrap up the stream. I've got oil production going crazy, and then I've got some sulfur for research, and I've tripled my ability to produce power with the ability to add another 1,000 if I need, because there's at least one more oil node. So I'm in good shape. All I need left to do is come back here and make a bunch of computers and heavy modular frames so that I can unlock these last two milestones for the jetpack and the gas mask, and then I'll have found a lot of what's in the game. The only thing left to do after that will be to hunt down nodes for things that are not yet implemented. I've heard nuclear power is coming soon. I think it was nuclear power, or maybe it was geyser power, geothermal power. But this next tier, tier 7, supposedly will get unlocked at the end of June, assuming the experimental one doesn't do up any heavy bugs. So I'm looking forward to that. Probably won't do a ton more Satisfactory streams until they do get that next tier in. Although maybe if I go exploring, I'll do a stream of that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, I'll see you soon. Later.